Hey guys, today we'll be talking about tubing and a little bit about water skiing. I will start with my earliest memory ever of tubing. My family had all gone out to the boat to go tubing, and I was like 6, 7, or 8. And at the time I really wanted to try tubing, and every time I got in the tube I would have full confidence, but then when I actually got out there I'd start bawling my eyes out and they'd have to pull me back in. And my siblings got really annoyed about how much time I was wasting. And every summer my family goes to this beach town, which I mentioned in the Ways I Make Money video, and we go tubing on my aunt and uncle's boat. And nothing that interesting happened on all the previous years, but this year some interesting stuff happened. So I'm just going to talk about this year. And I really love tubing, so I asked my uncle to give me the roughest ride he possibly could. And trust me, he did. And I went outside the wake a lot. If you don't know what the wake is, it's pretty much the trail behind the boat that's a triangle shape. And inside the wake is normally pretty calm, but outside of the wake isn't really calm and it's really rough and bumpy. And because I asked for a rough ride, I went outside of the wake a lot. The first ride was a huge success. I went outside the wake a lot and the tube was going all directions really crazy, but I still managed to hold on. It was really crazy and awesome. And a lot of times half my body would fly off the tube, but I'd still manage to hold on, and that's how I survived the first go. The next ride, however, was a different story. Pretty much the same thing happened. I went outside the wake a lot, but then I was outside the wake and a huge wave struck. The tube literally flipped over midair. And being upside down in midair, I had two options. Keep holding on and just get dragged upside down and get injured, or just accept defeat and let go. And of course, I care for my physical health, so I chose option B and let go. And I really think that was the right choice. I didn't fall off the tube. Whee! That was so not worth it. Plus, one of the most exciting things that makes tubing is falling off the tube. So yeah, the second time I wasn't able to hold on that much, but hey, it was really fun. And now I was done going solo, and I decided to go with my two little brothers, James and Jack. I was in the middle, and James and Jack were both on the outsides. And because I was with my little brothers, we had a decently calm ride until we had a big bump. And James fell off the tube. And in the water, he was panicking and screaming and freaking out. And I can't blame him, because when we got back in the boat, it turned out that when he fell off, his finger got twisted. So that wasn't great. But don't worry, his finger is fine. Plus, I was kind of relieved when he got on the boat, because when he was screaming, I thought his finger was bleeding, and I was freaking out. And that was the end of our tubing trip for that day. Now let's talk about another day when I went with my older siblings and my older cousins. So yeah, big upgrade. And before we started tubing, we were skiing. And I've never skied before, and I was pretty excited and wanted to try it out. And finally, after watching my older cousins and siblings do it, it was my turn. And I started to put the skis on, but then I realized the skis didn't fit me, because we were using adult skis because it was me and my older cousins, and my feet just didn't fit in them. So yeah, I didn't get to ski because it wouldn't be safe if I skied with skis that wouldn't fit my feet. But I am really excited to try out skiing once I am older and I can fit into the skis. Then we started tubing. My tubing partner was my older brother, and I'm really glad he was, because he also likes going really fast on the tube. And he asked me if I wanted to do donuts, which is when the boat goes in a circle so the tube crashes into its own wake. And of course, I agreed before he even finished the sentence. And it was insane. We kept running into our own wake and going flying in the air, and the tube even went sideways one time, but we still managed to hold on. It was a crazy adrenaline rush, and I loved it. And if you don't know, when you go outside the wake, it's whoever's on the edge who has the roughest ride. So the first time someone fell off, it was my brother because he was on the outside. And to be honest, I don't think any human being could have held on in that situation. But the next ride, my brother had a plan. He said that whoever was on the inside didn't have as much of whoever was on the outside when we went outside of the wake, so whoever was on the inside wouldn't fall off. And I thought that was a really good idea that would work. When we went, so the next time we went, I was on the outside of the wake, so my brother tried to put his arm around me. But at the worst time, we hit a bump, and as he put his arm around me, he accidentally just pushed me off the tube. So yeah, that's how our genius plan got foiled. And then it was time for a last ride, and we made sure this was the craziest ride ever because we wanted to go out with a bang. We went outside of the wake, we did donuts, we went up and down, and we were really doing a good job holding on. Then the tube went flying in the air and I fell off, but I mean, hey, It was really fun. I really like tubing. I feel like it's one of my favorite things to do, and it's awesome. Thanks for watching.